We are in continuation with rural development. We are doing what is agricultural diversification, and in agricultural diversification we finished with horticulture. We are doing horticulture now. We're finished with what is known as dairy farming and animal husbandry. So we're going to do horticulture, and it's also known as golden revolution. They gave a time period to 1991 to 2003. Why? Because it was, and when suddenly there was a spate of people going in for producing more fruits, more herbs, more flowers, more vegetables. So that was a revolution. It was known as a golden revolution. Now, one disadvantage would be that in the bulk of acreage under this swelled at the cost of pulses, which was not a good thing. And advantage is that even crops can be grown in a smaller area, in small farms, and multiple cropping can be taken up. So I want you to just go through this while I just let you know what it is. So again, it's another alternative source of employment in rural areas, and so it includes fruits, vegetable, flowers, and we find that there has been a substantial increase in area under horticulture. And if you see, India is the second largest producer of fruits and vegetables in the world, and we are emerging as a leading producer of mangoes, bananas, coconuts, cashew nuts, and of course we were very good at spices. We are still good at it. So horticulture, high crop productivity led to the golden revolution in horticulture farming during the years 1991 to 2012. Doubtless we can find that horticulture is emerging as an important means of sustainable living in the rural areas. So what we find is that it has the golden revolution from 2000 to 2012 and onwards. So I'd written it wrong, so I just made the correction. So horticulture, again I said, it's a way of an important means of sustainable living in the rural areas, and there has been a significant rise in income levels of the farming families engaged in horticulture production. So another, you could say it's an advantage that shifting to horticulture farming has reduced economic vulnerability of the small and marginal farmers, and it has opened new avenues of employment for the women folk also in the rural areas. And the only disadvantage, as I just told you, is that what I find is that the bulk of acreage under horticulture has expanded at the cost of acreage under pulses. So there's a severe shortfall in supplies of pulses and a cut in their consumption owing to high prices, which is not a good thing because they are a very good source of protein for us Indians, who are generally, we rely on a vegetarian diet. So looking at that, we find, then we also see that as I've written, that horticulture contributes over 33% of agriculture output and provides around about 19 to 20% of the total labor force. So in this we find that in horticulture, the production of horticulture crops has actually surpassed the production of even food grains since 2012 and 2013. And say talking about flower harvesting, nursery maintenance, hybrid seed production and tissue culture, propagation of fruits and flowers and food processing are highly productive employment options for the rural, say the rural women as we just talked about. So the disadvantage, as we said, another thing that is comes under disadvantages that there's a higher input cost here than the food crops. So one has to really think out ways and means and how the government should come and help in this regard, and also to see that the pulses are not I mean, one cannot do away with pulses. They are a very good source of protein to Indians, and they have to plan it in a better way. So here we go.